What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. So, still here in Liberia, and I come across our beautiful sister here, and she lives here in Liberia. Sister, please introduce yourself.
My name is Lisa White, and I've been living in Liberia, Monrovia, Liberia, off and on for the last 10 years.
10 years, 10 years.
10 years.
Okay, but so now you live here?
Yeah, now I'm
Full-time.
here. I'm here full time. I work here full time. My life is here.
Now, what I find interesting, family, is she is the first one who's coming from America who has a job in the country she lives. Most of the time we see people who are retired or those people who start businesses, but you actually have a job here.
Yeah, I have a job here. Actually, the whole time I've been here, for exception of a period when I had my own business here, I've always worked here. I've always took care of myself here. I do everything that I would be doing in the U.S., except I do it here.
Who do you work for and what do you do?
Okay, so right now I work for Lone Star Cell MTN. I am the communications manager at Lone Star Cell. Before I got to Lone Star Cell, I worked for the United Nations mission in Liberia and the United Nations mission for the Ebola emergency response.
Nice. Now, one of the questions that I'm typically asked, if a person was to have a job, like I said, you're the first one I met who has a job here. Most expats do their own business or what have you. How is the pay? Can you survive off the pay? Now, I don't want to get in your business how much you're getting paid, but we hear these stories that, average people in the countries I've been in make $150 what have you.
Okay, so
But
I don't make $150
a month. Okay, all right. You're able to take care of yourself.
Oh yes, I'm able to pay my rent. I'm able to go out to eat on a regular basis. I'm able to buy my clothes, get my hair done, get my nails and feet done. Anything I need to do, I can do it here.
Is the pay comparable to what you would say the U.S. or?
Actually, it kind of is. When I look at my first job that I had at the UN in New York when I worked there, this pay is comparable. And the thing about living here is that, if you're living on the economy, it's a bit cheaper to live here than it is in the U.S., I think.
Yeah. Now, for those who don't know, Liberia is definitely kind of tight-knitted on the hip of America.
That's right.
And so you're going to find a lot of similarities, and you'll find a lot of people who actually came from America back to Africa.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So in the U.S., there was this Back to Africa movement. The American Colonization Society decided that, black and whites couldn't really get along very well, so they decided that, they would ship Africans or Americans that were in the U.S., some freed, some formerly freed, to come back to Africa. And two of the places that they stopped, one was Sierra Leone and the other one was Liberia. And in Liberia now, the American Colonization Society helped the people that came back from Africa to establish Liberia.
Yeah.
So we have those ties. So, a lot of, when you look at the history, you'll find that the American Colonization Society had chapters in the South and in the North. So when you go around Liberia, you look at the architecture, you look at the types of food, you see a lot of similarities of what you would find now in the U.S. among the African American community. So there is still a lot of similarities in terms of how we relate to each other, in terms of family and how important family is. And you'll find that people really spend a lot of time being grateful. Like we just had Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving here is all about being grateful. It's not about, the Indians and, the Europeans trying to survive in America. It's about the Germans who were getting ready to invade Liberia but didn't. And one of the reasons, or one of the story is that the president at the time called his cabinet together and said, let's pray and hope that the Germans don't invade us. and through a series of events, it didn't happen. So
Okay, so I ain't gonna cut you short.
I know, I talked a
Thanksgiving.
lot.
Yeah. Well, no. You know, I know that they got a rich, long history.
Yes.
And it can go on. You know.
Yes, that's right.
But due to limited time, not to be rude, let's get more into our sister here. You,
Sorry,
okay? No,
yeah.
that's all right. It's okay. For you. Why did you leave America? Why did you choose to stay in Africa?
Well, I mean, it was a progression. You know, I was working with the UN mission in Liberia, and I had worked with the mission for 7 years. And in that 7 years, I, you know, established friendships. I, you know, had a lay of the land. I understood the culture. You know, I had a life here, a life that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed being here. And when I left and went back, I just realized that that America just wasn't for me. And I think that's the bottom line of it. And I mean, I know there's a lot of negativity surrounding Africa, but Africa is a beautiful place, beautiful people, rich history, rich culture, and I just really enjoy being here. And
Nice.
so that's just...
Now, you know, being here in Liberia, you know, it's a coastal
Yes.
country
Yes.
and all, and you get to see, you know, some of the beautiful beaches and all. I was right here. We're right here in Monrovia, in the city. It seems like it's an older city,
It is.
and then I'm hit and bombarded with areas that might suit the average American, if you will, African American, when it comes to middle class, or maybe even above middle class. Are there areas that are developed or being developed here in Liberia?
Yeah, there are. If you look at Marshall, there are a lot of affluent Liberians who are developing that area, building homes and establishing themselves there and establishing new communities there in Marshall. But I mean, when you look at affluence, I think you have to also look at the culture here. And the culture here is that everybody's programmed to have a piece of land and to build their own homes. I mean, that's just, you know, the way it works here.
Yeah.
There's no kind of culture in saying, oh, let me just go get a mortgage and, you know, build my house. No, you kind of work, you save up some money, you put the foundation down, you save up some more money, and then next thing you know, your house is built. I
Yep.
mean, that's kind of how it works here. So
That's the African way I've seen it across the continent.
yeah. This idea of having a mortgage or borrowing money from
Yeah.
an institution to do such is, it's not really a culture here. So in that way, you know, there's a lot of wealth that's created because these structures that are built, these homes are passed down. You know.
Yeah.
And it's very common to hear people say, "Oh, well, my family has this land, and I'm going to do X and X with it." You know.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
mean, so when you talk about wealth and affluence, I mean, I think generally, you know, there is a segment that is very affluent, and of course, there are people who are less affluent.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that exists everywhere. It's not just
Everywhere.
in Liberia, you know what I mean, or in Africa.
Yeah. So, how have your family received you in living in Africa? You know, you hear most of these stories of people who families call them crazy. You know, why do you want to go to Africa and live there? What do they have over there? They don't have what we have.
Yeah.
I mean, what is your experience?
Well,
with
here's
your,
the thing. I
Yeah.
have a military background.
So you kind of a military brat.
So, no, I wouldn't say I was a military brat. I would say that I joined the Navy.
Oh, military background yourself,
So,
personally. Okay,
myself personally, I
okay.
joined the Navy after college, actually in between my college years, just to find myself. And through the travel, you know, I wanted to know more about the world because there was a lot of things that I didn't see. So I went to study that, and through the process, all of these different opportunities came to travel and to also work abroad. So
your family's kind of used to you traveling.
So I think my family, is used to going, okay, where in the world is Lisa? And then they know pretty much that I'm in Africa now. So
let me ask you this right here. So you're loving Africa, you're living here in Liberia. Your folks are okay with you. You ever go back to America?
Yes, I did go back to America. I went back to Atlanta in, 2018.
Okay.
2018, yeah.
Okay.
So I go back, but I go back to, see my friends and family and whatnot, and then I come back here and have my life.
Well, it sounds like you're happy. It sounds like you're content in what you're doing, and you are the first person that I have met that is working. Now,
but I mean, there is a community of us. There is a community of us that have decided to travel and have international careers.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is, and it's a definite choice. I mean, I have friends of mine, African American women, who were actually here in Liberia who had different careers. One was in education. Somebody else was in project management. There are lots of different things that you can do abroad and make money from, and have a very interesting life. I mean,
you're gonna get a lot of emails that people are going to be wanting to reach out, because people are. That's the number one thing, is what job can I go to when I go to Africa?
Yeah, my answer to that is, what job are they doing in America? The job that you're doing in America is the job that you can do right here in one of the 54 countries of Africa.
Because most countries, I tell people that if you're trying to come here to have a job, you're sadly mistaken, because you have to. Most governments in certain countries are not giving away jobs to foreigners. They're giving it to their so-called citizens. So we have to come in and start businesses.
Okay, well then, yes.
And create jobs. But you're saying Liberia is, you can come in here and you can find an employer to work. This is great news.
I mean, if you just have to be open to opportunity, like seriously, like you just have to just put yourself in environments where these opportunities are. I mean, if you look at my personal history, I started in Liberia with the United Nations and spent 7 years here working with the UN in my field of expertise, which is communications and more specifically broadcast radio. So that's how I started working here. And then, again, it was a series, of progressions that led from the UN to where I am now.
Okay. All right. So what would you say to those out there who are either apprehensive in wanting to visit Africa, but, still have that mindset of wanting to come visit? You've been to Liberia, you've been to Nigeria. And so I'm just wanting to know, and I'm quite sure they want to know, what would you say the country that they should visit first, maybe, or give a try to visit?
Well, the first country I think they should try to visit probably is Ghana. Go to Ghana first. It's English speaking.
Yeah.
And it's I think a country that is that's easy for your first trip.
Okay.
I think they should come to Liberia as well, considering the history and the historical links between Liberia and the U.S. And it's possible, if you go and check your DNA, you could have relatives that are here. So that would be very interesting. I think you should check out Sierra Leone as well.
Okay.
I mean, there are a whole host of countries, but the point is that if you decide that you want to be in Africa, do some research, then get your passport, get all your shots that you need, and go. I mean, would you think twice about going to Italy or to France or to Norway or to the Caribbean? No, you wouldn't. You say, oh, I'm going to go to St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, how did you make that choice?
Yeah.
There are 54 countries, so you have your choice. So do your research, see what's available. There are lots of different sites you can go to online. Reach out to people. If you're in a sorority, 9 times out of 10, there's somebody that's in your sorority that's in the country that you want to be in. If you're in a professional organization, same thing. There's all kinds of different networks you can tap into to get information and to get yourself to Africa. One of the 54 countries.
You heard it here first. The first country, some of the Liberians like to say, it's the first country.
Yeah, right. Actually, you're right. Liberia was the first republic in Africa.
Yeah. So anyway, leave your comments, and let me ask you: do you mind people reach out to you? Or
no, I don't.
Okay,
by email, you can hit me up on Facebook. I'm on Facebook at Lisa White. Or you can send an email to mslrwhite@gmail.com.
All right, family. You heard it here first from Lisa White. Get out there, do your research, and find that country for you.
And come to Africa.
Peace out.